was like going mad, wild. I was going wild, wild.
Yeah, and I had my jab yesterday, and as a side effect, I was getting heart palpitations, and I got a bit dizzy, and I wasn't able to sleep at all. And the fact that there was a very interesting match going on between India and England at the Lords was not helping at all. What I thought later was, you know what? I can go without sleeping one night, but this amazing contest, not just between the bat and ball, but also between sheer emotions, passion, camaraderie, and banter, sledging, abuses, all of that combined into one great orchestra that we call cricket, and which is our not just our passion, life for many of us. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Uncommentary, where we share our common and uncommon opinions about this wonderful game. And what a brilliant contest, Narayan. My WhatsApp, Twitter, social media, everywhere, things are buzzing. Everybody, the people, trolls, everyone wants to be the fastest fingers first, trying to share the most useful and most useless trivia on the game on that happened on that day, and also sharing memes and posts about their favorite players. For once during this match, jersey number 69 Javo was not discussed on the last day because there was so much happening on the ground. Narayan, I'll bring you in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who are joining in. And what a day yesterday. Absolutely right, as you rightly put. For me, I think it was an opera. It had everything. It had the fall, the drop, or whatever term one may call it, and the rise back, touching the pinnacle. The game was swinging. I mean, there was never a point where any team had control over it. It was more like both wanted to lose it, both also wanted to win it. Now, who eventually won, we all know, and it was a beautiful ending to a 5-day test match going into the last session with six in hand. Uh, uh, to start off the day, India really had the backs against the wall. We had
Absolutely.
Pant playing with Ishant, and we were having a lead of something around 160, if I'm not wrong, when we started the day.
Yeah,
uh,
true.
160, 165. I think when Pant was dismissed in the fourth over of the day, the lead was at 180. And as you also had mentioned in the previous pod, wherein this is the best tale, but uh, I think the
You took it really
immediate
seriously, I guess.
target,
Did you share this video with the
the
team?
I hope it's gone through. I guess these guys are all watching and listening to us, and maybe some of our comments does work wonders for a couple of people. And yes, there's it's always healthy criticism. That said, coming back to how when Pant was dismissed and India being at 180 with a lead of 180, I think the target initially for the management was 200.
Yeah,
And
that's what
there
it looked like.
was there yeah. So first of all, hats off to Shami and Bumrah to take in those short balls and uh, take in all the heat and the banter and the talks. And there was a very odd moment where
Oh, there was
Wood
more than
tried to
banter.
sledge
There was more
Bumrah.
than banter. Trust me.
Yeah, unfortunately, a stump mic can only pick up some things which can be done, not everything possible. And I think we need players to also wear a small microphone over here so that even
To
those
keep us all alive
stuff
in the
can be
game.
captured and not just a stump mic. But yeah,
Yeah.
that said, a stump mic is legendary. I remember slightly digressing away. I remember Australian media was trying
Babysitting.
to say that, stump mics should be switched off. No way. I mean, please,
I know, no.
that adds so much color to the match.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
is wonderful. But yeah,
Yeah.
Wood giving it to Bumrah, and he copying one on the head, on the helmet.
Mhm.
Thankfully, when the physio came out, he was all uh, raring to go, and he said, "I'm all okay. It's nothing much."
Yeah.
But the immediate next ball, you could see he bowled at 95 around the waist high.
92. Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to call it. It was like a tennis shot, right? He went for
Yeah.
the pull. It hits the top outside part, the most bottom part of the
Yeah.
bat, and goes
And
to square leg for a four.
true. Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah.
when it kind of exploded, where I felt I was, as a Indian fan, I felt losing your head would be the least thing that is required. But
Mm.
what it did wonders was these two put their head down, and
Yeah.
you could see proper cricketing shots, front foot
Straight
defense,
drives, cover
a
drives.
cover drive that wish we could just it needs a meme, right? It
Yeah.
needs a gif, or it needs a portrait which can be painted. You could see Shami almost forgot to run by the end that cover drive.
I remember I
And
was watching
yeah,
Harsha Bogle's what was it, the Craig Buzz's program? I forgot the name, where he and him and Michael Vaughan discussed the day's play. I forgot the name. Sorry about that. But yeah, he was discussing about what field setting Joe Root had for Bumrah and Mohammad Shami. He said, if I were Bumrah, I were Shami, I would just tell Joe Root, hey, mate, can you just give me a second? I want to take a picture, because I don't think I'll ever get a feel like this, because they treated him as a proper batsman, kept him fielders in his strong areas. So that should make him really proud.
yeah, absolutely. To have three on the boundary, four on the boundary for a proper out and out tailender. I don't think these guys can be called tailenders. I mean,
Lower
we
order.
shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves. But I remember Ian Bishop's tweet about, everyone, including what West Indies pulled off a remarkable win, 1 wicket win over the
Yep.
Pakistan just yesterday, early morning hours for us in India. Uh, I think these guys should be called lower order batsmen. I think
Yeah.
those word tailender should be removed. But yeah, not getting too ahead of ourselves. It was wonderful to see these two really grit it out, and that 1 hour, 1.5 hours, they pulled off 2 hours batting in the
Mm.
middle. So much
Yep.
so that our target lead of about looking at 200 went up to 271.
And we
We
had the
went
audacity
into
to
the
declare.
dressing, and that really broke English, right? England were anticipating India to come back out to bat. With
Yeah.
just 5 minutes to go, Kohli declares and says,
Mm.
"We are
Very
throwing the
tactical, isn't
gauntlet
it?
at you. Exactly 60 overs. I'm giving you the gauntlet. Do you have the guts and the balls to go for it?" And uh, uh, there was a wonderful message also which I had come across, where New Zealand had set a target of 275 with 72 overs, and England still played out for the draw.
Yeah.
But this is Lords, right? This was the home of cricket. It's something iconic about Lords that you have to win, or at least may put your name on the honors board. Root, Anderson both did, KL also did, but I mean, the spectacle was all unfolding on the final day.
Yeah, absolutely. And just our third victory at Lords, 1986, then 2014, where Virat was again part of it. Ishan Sharma's magical spell took India home, and yesterday. And what a brilliant way to celebrate your Independence Day weekend. And just going back to day 4, where India started batting, and everybody was talking about the middle order, and we saw a collapse at the top, where both the openers fell pretty short, and so did Kohli. Rohit Sharma, how could you do that? You just hit Mark Wood for a 6 2 balls ago. And why would you fall trap, take that bait? He just moved that fielder right there, right then. And the very next ball, he hit him right straight to his throat. Why would you do that? And that puts an extra pressure on the middle order, who is again finding it difficult coping all the criticism, especially Pujara and Rahane. And Pujara, if you know, when he got his first run of the 35 balls, the crowd cheered for him. Same when he scored, when he played out 200 balls, the crowd cheered for him. Imagine the amount of pressure this guy is carrying on his shoulders.
Yeah, I do understand when people do get a bit dejected when they see Rohit Sharma going for that. But one must understand that, each player, whether batsman or a bowler, has there are some shots or there are some things that one would do. It's a muscle memory, right? It's instinctive. It is just subconscious which is taking over your
True.
play. It has nothing about the ball was there. The moment it's shot, a player who is a really good puller or a hooker will go for that shot. It's just unfortunate that he hold out to the fielder in deep square leg. But even after looking at what happened in the first test at Trent Bridge, it's a plan that England is now seriously adapting, because they feel that invariably somewhere down the line he may go for it. So he needs to just avoid going for those shots, or go for it as long as you clear it. I mean, it's as simple as that. You could see
Absolutely.
what it had a very good resemblance to what Australia did bowling to Gill. They had three people in the field all around the boundary. One was squarish third man. Sorry, not squarish third man. Squarish fine leg, you would rather say. One was a deep square leg, and one was a deep mid wicket. And you could see Stark was bowling short, and it never bothered Gill. Gill still went for the shots and cleared the boundary or bisected the fielders. I mean, it was fantastic watch. But it does get your heart racing, and
we can't stop
those are some shots which
we can't stop
it's
talking
not
about
great
GABBA.
to watch.
Can we?
Yeah, but coming back to what once the top order failed, it was putting added pressure on the middle order, and Shea really I think all this criticism, which was unwarranted, unfortunately does play around on players' minds as well. But Shea, being Shea, did exactly what he knows best. He took 35 balls to get off the mark, and there was a loud cheer, as you rightly put, and he gave a fist pump to Virat on the middle. But it does. Virat failing is also putting added pressure on the rest of the people. The responsibilities that one need to garner. But it was at least Rahane and Shea gave a small challenge before eventually both lost out, which we would have loved if one of them carried forward and scored 100 as well. But it wouldn't have ended at the spectacle of day 5 if one of those things had materialized.
But even if they didn't score many runs, the middle order did put up 180 runs combined, all three of them, in the match, which was a significant contribution. So this effort, why is it so special? Is because it was not just one man performing. It was not just one KL Rahul's 120, despite the fact that he was the man of the match. No, it was his a brilliant 125, Rohit's magnificent 85, 180 runs of the middle order, Jadeja's 50, crucial 50 in the first innings, Pant's Fury 20, 30 in both the innings combined, and the spectacular partnership of 87, 89 runs between Shami and Bumrah at the end, with Siraj and Ishan Sharma also chipping in, taking wickets. So it was an out-and-out team performance not a standout performance by someone. So that's why it makes it so special that everybody chipped in and everybody had something to relish when they go ahead in their lives, tell their stories to their grandchildren.
And more importantly, Devang, I believe, is that it completely neutralized Root's 180 not out, right, of the first innings.
Yeah.
I mean, for a captain who's been in a very good nick since the start of the
Sublime
series,
form.
69 and 100 at Trent Bridge, 180 not out in the first innings at Lords. You kind of like, you see the whole, he's literally taking the whole England team forward. In this case, what has happened is India came into bat on at the start of day 4. So by end of day 4, India's literally with the backs against the wall. It was only 2 results were possible.
Yeah.
One was an iconic play for biting time, which didn't look good because it's day 5, it's the tail enders. The second was a more favorable English win. What happened was,
contrary to what we were discussing in our discussion over the weekend pod, where both you and I were in the favor of India win, and Saul was talking about a draw. But this
draw
changed so quickly.
Yeah, and that 2 hours of batting, not only were they batting for time, but they started scoring runs.
Yeah.
Eventually, it came to a point where the management just realized that we can actually put them back in, put them under pressure, and see whether can they survive or not. And what this has also shown is our pace attack is relentless. I mean, it is just phenomenal to watch those 4 running in and bowl and keep attacking the batsman. One bowler is tired, the third one comes, the third one is tired, the fourth one comes. So it's just relentless, and it's so awesome to watch pace bowling at its best. But yeah, more importantly is what this has done is you get 2 quick wickets and you put Root under pressure. Eventually, Root stuck around to score a 30 odd, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, once Root went, the entire batting capitulated. So, I mean, capitulated, where you could just see 120 all out and it was even under 2 sessions. We didn't even go the full distance. So this puts an added pressure on England.
Just going back a bit to the start of the day 5, where England had the opportunity to bundle out the lower end batsman, the tail, but they were more interested in playing some chin music and giving a response to what happened at the end of day 3 between James Anderson and Jasprit Bumrah. So they were out and out about against Bumrah. And once Bumrah and Shami started going for, they were trying to not just survive, as you rightly said, they were going for scoring opportunities. Once they started doing that, my dad just messaged me saying, the English bowling lineup, the English team has already given up, it seems. Look at their body language. Their shoulders are drooping. I'm like, that's a very good observation. And that actually resulted in them looking like not having any clue as to what is happening. Even Sunil Gavaskar in the commentary box mentioned this point, that it did seem like England were absolutely clueless as to how to stop these two from scoring. And when they did eventually score and declare, and we went on to start the bowling for the final innings, getting 2 quick wickets was phenomenal. And I think this was the first time ever, or in 100 years, that has happened, that the opening pair went for 0, both of them. So that put additional pressure on Root and the company to be able to survive 2 sessions in the midst of a very flamboyant and very chatty Indian field attack. You saw the first wicket that went, you saw everybody was converging. I saw Siraj was at mid-on, and he literally ran next to the batsman at the end of the first ball. And I guess it was the second or the third ball where Rory Burns just flicked it to Siraj, who was just strolling in a park.
Short cover.
Yeah, almost short cover. Yeah, but he was meant to be somewhere in a short mid-off position.
Yeah. True. You rightly put, Dave. I mean, that's where the fielding and what people are trying to say. It started from at the end of day 3 when Bumrah bowled bounces to Jimmy Anderson. But if you just look back, it was 1 over with 4 no balls, which practically meant Bumrah bowled a 10 ball over.
10 ball over.
It was just 1 over. And they got riled up because, it's a tail ender, it's number 11, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, fine, man. It's take it in the chin. It's 1 over. It was not like a barrage of half an hour of relentless short bowling.
Yeah.
It was just 1 over. Yeah, you could say 2 because technically it's 10 balls, but there were 4 no balls.
Yeah. Stop being so sensitive.
I mean, if
Indian
that's
fielders also get that. Indian players also get that.
If 1 over is something that you cannot cope up with, I mean, you have to look at what other teams are going through when they tour or even face really good, quick, short bowling. And what we did, we got in. If you look at what India went through in Sydney and GABBA, it was a barrage. It was half an hour, 45 minutes of just relentless short bowling. So many hits to the body, and this was just 1 over. So I mean, that in itself was where England kind of, and there was a friendly pat by Bumrah when they walked off the field.
James Anderson did not like
it. They took it a bit personally. They're like, how dare you bowl short to a number 11? And I think the moment Pant was dismissed and the tail walked in, they just realized that now is the time to give it back. And they did bowl short. I am not at all against bowling short or not.
They missed
but
the golden
they kind of lost the plot. It was not a ploy to pick wickets. It was more like a ploy to hit them on the helmet or injure them or get personal. And that's where I think England eventually forgot that bowl good length and try to get the wickets, because that's the only way you can get wickets. If you see if you just take the percentage terms of that phase, about 1.5 hours, you could see that 30% of the balls are only on the stumps. The rest all were kind of short or
true. And it's always good. It's good to have a subplot as long as the main plot is not it does not succumb or is not sacrificed. But that's what actually happened in this game. Big one, Q&A. Some of my friends have sent in some questions. Let's see if we can answer them. You ready for them? I've got some questions here.
Go for it. Absolutely.
All right. The first one. Okay, I'll keep this for our preview to the next game, because this question is about what will be your team for the third game. So I'll not take that up here. Harish, my friend, I'll keep it for our preview session. Keep an eye.
It's
we will answer that question. It's actually a very interesting question. Who do we take in? Who goes out? Who comes in? But let's hold our horses for now. Second, another interesting question. For a change, Virat's decisions, especially his relevance to the DRS, worked in his favor. Both the occasions that he went for, they were actually in our favor. That's a question from my friend Mrugesh. And what do you think about that? You had some comments about DRS and the umpiring.
Thanks for the question, first of all. I mean, I still stand by what I had mentioned in the show over the weekend, that the umpiring level is phenomenally good. I mean, that's the level of umpiring that is right now for the game, and which in a way also makes the sport to watch really, really gripping, right? I mean, you may see people losing interest when the standard of level of umpiring is really bad,
Yeah.
because eventually you have only 3 unsuccessful reviews per innings. Um, and yeah, it's 3 right now because it's COVID. Otherwise, it was only 2.
Yeah,
If you go
true.
back to pre-COVID times, so uh, to take that review, which and especially against this umpiring, as I put it, it's only a 5% chance that the umpire could be wrong. And you have seen across various matches, various series, that the umpiring level is very good these days, and you have to give it to. Yeah, Virat did. It was a surprise that even Virat went for the review. But to be honest, when I was watching it on screen, it looked
Look
plumb. I
plumb
was
straight away.
I was literally jumping off my seat, shouting, "It is out!
Yeah.
It's out!" And to see
Yeah.
the umpire nod the head, I was like,
Same here. It,
"WTF?"
yeah, it's same here.
I
It
mean,
was it
yeah,
was way past beyond midnight, around 1ish or 2ish in the morning, when the first one was reviewed, and then later around 3 o'clock, 3:15, I guess. Yeah, 3:30 our time in the morning. The match finished 3:35. But yeah, I was jumping, and I was all alone by myself, and I was jumping in the living room lounge, watching the match. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
yeah. I mean, and more importantly is that the wicket of Bairstow on the stroke of T.
Yeah,
If they had entered T with Bairstow and Root, I believe, yeah, Root
yeah,
and
root.
Bairstow
Yeah,
batting, I mean, you could have seen that England would have been more confident approaching the final session, but then
yeah.
the wicket of Bairstow literally changed things, right?
It opened up the
And
gate.
coming back to the earlier point, Dave, as you put, when about how chirpy Siraj was. I mean, you could see that even when Hamid walked into bat, you could see Siraj pass a few comments towards him that he's on a king pair. Whether can
Yeah,
he survive? And it was a very ordinary ball outside off by Ishant, but
yeah,
nevertheless, you could see that players are giving it to the English batsmen. And yeah, another stat to go by with
Sam Curran.
yours about 2 openers getting a duck has never happened at Lords is Sam Curran getting a king pair at Lords. That's
Yeah,
also for the first time.
yeah. But that little session of flurry of wickets post T, starting with Joe Root, it started all the celebrations across the country, across the globe, with Indian supporters, like you
Yeah,
and I.
man.
Okay.
But coming back to the
To
question,
Virat's
which we
DRS.
digressed.
Yeah,
Coming
Virat's.
back to the
Yeah.
question which we slightly digressed from is Virat did get an input from Rohit to go for the taking the review. He
Mm,
was not sure whether he should, and and it was such a big wicket that Rohit actually conveyed to him to actually go for the DRS. So it's pretty cool. And in the replay, if you notice, KL Rahul has its face turned away from the screen. He's
yeah.
just looking at what is the reaction of Virat, and the moment
Yeah.
you could see Virat
I,
rejoicing, they all knew that
yeah.
the ball is hitting the stump and they have got the wicket.
Yeah.
Yeah, but uh, I think Virat was just lucky. I mean, we should not
He said, uh,
celebrate, but it was lucky.
he said it was his gut instinct that he went, and most of his reviews are based on gut instinct. I don't comply to that always. Yes, your gut instinct gives you, it is very strong generally, but not always. You should, also take inputs from other players, like you said, rightly said, Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant, because they are the people who are right there, being able to
Yeah,
watch the action from a proper angle. Cool.
true,
Um,
true, true.
yep. Thanks, Narayan. Rakesh, that was the answer for you. And another question from my friend Vinay is about Virat's captaincy. What do you make of Virat's captaincy in this match? And is it affecting his batting?
Hmm. Interesting. Thanks for the question, Benay. But yeah, it's interesting because this talk has been there for a while. I personally don't see captaincy affecting Virat because he's been captaining the team for a while. Yeah. Uh, I think with Virat comes the added onus that he wants to be in control of everything.
Yeah.
So you could see him taking over the captaincy has gotten the fitness aspect. His focus, his aim has been on fitness, and he
Yeah.
keeps it's boiled down to the team, the reserve teams, the club teams, and the whole setup in entirety, where
Yeah.
fitness has been taken very seriously, and you can see how that is reflected on the quality of bowlers lasting an entire series without any injury. Has also
I
taken
would like to
forward about
differ on that, because we have seen huge number of people getting injured and walking off an active tour. But yeah, I
that's
get
in the COVID
what you're
times.
trying
That
to
is
say.
in the
Yeah.
COVID times. But otherwise, you could
Yeah.
see how players are now taking things seriously. Fitter bodies, leaner bodies,
Yeah.
running in quicker. But uh, coming back, I don't think captaincy is affecting Virat much because I think he's more than happy as long as the results go your team's way, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
One may argue that yeah, he needs to score runs. Yeah, that is a spot of concern. But yeah, every now and then he gets the odd 40, 50, 60. But it's not the old Virat that we are used to, where 100 used to come every alternate innings or every two innings.
Yeah.
That said, it's a challenge in Test cricket, considering that a lot of times things don't go your way, and with
Yeah.
this some horrendous DRS reviews calls and but that's Virat. I mean, he's on your face. He's all around you.
Yeah.
That's what you get with him as a captain. And I don't think I don't think him being a captain is the issue over here.
Absolutely. I think what matters to people, especially people who love Test cricket, is they don't like Virat's antics that he goes about out and about on the field. His aggression, everybody loves it, but his antiques, that's what I think Vinay was more concerned
I
about
think
as well.
there's also in this that what I feel personally, this again my own personal opinion is that uh, Virat man management skills is something that he lacks as a captain. So if you notice, man management skills of Ajinkya Rahane and Rohit Sharma are much better, where the team actually really responds to what the captain needs, and not many words needs to be conveyed. They all know what their respective role is. That said, man management skills of Virat, and it needs to he needs to look into that and develop that further. I mean, if he can develop that, it'll be great, because I still see that a lot of time is wasted when he's trying to set up a field for a bowler. A lot of time is wasted when there is he and the bowler are not on the same page, and you lose time. You're slow, and ICC is yet to get back on whether they're going to dock points for India after this, because they have been slow even yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 consecutive days where India has fallen back on the over rate, and this time it will be maybe 3 points or maybe 4 points, but it's going to hurt in the eventual WTC championships of 2023, wherein another 2 years we should not face the same fate as Australia, which happened. What happened to Australia? What losing those
In
2
Melbourne.
points? But that said, I think man management skills of Virat needs a complete development. I think that's when he can become an even better captain than what he's today.
Some interesting thoughts over there. What I felt was the best thing about this team and the squad is the the think tank of the team, the coaches, the analysts, the developers, software guys. They let the players be themselves. So what this does is it does bring about the best, and Virat enjoys that. He wants people to give their best every time and play their natural game, just like Rishabh Pant does. He knows only one form of cricket. That's go after the bowling. So hopefully that answers your question, Vinay. And we are just approaching the end of this session. And just before we go, one last point.
I so don't want the session to end. I want
Absolutely.
to
We can
watch
go
the
on
entire
and
replay
on.
of
This
day
was
5
such
all over again.
we can't just get over GABBA, the GABBA Tour and Lords. So this is GABBA 2.0, as the great cricketer rightly mentioned.
I think the only thing missing yesterday was Dada removing the shirt and on the Lord's balcony. I think
I was chatting with my friend saying
he was there.
He might
there.
just
I think he should have just removed his jacket.
His jacket. we so wanted that to happen. I'm like, we missed that. But I think just to add to your point about Virat, Vinay, what I feel is the next match at Leeds is going to show Virat Kohli in his full form that we know. That's what I hope, because he might take some leaf out of Sachin Tendulkar and Dravid's and Saurav Ganguly's innings from back in 2004, I guess it was, where we beat England at Leeds. And it was a stupendous performance by these three, the big three of Indian cricket. So I'm expecting Virat to go all guns blazing at Leeds at the Headingley. Final thoughts before we wrap this session, Naran?
I have a very interesting snippet which I've been wanting to say, but if you notice, Stuart Broad in the 2007 T20 World Cup, when he fingered Yuvraj six sixes of the over.
Yeah,
Flintoff did the same, right, in the NatWest final in 2002 when to KF and Yuvraj, the iconic moment of Dada removing his shirt on the Lord's balcony. I mean, this test match, you can actually put it down to Jimmy and Wood peppering the bouncers and having that word, right? I think that was a pivotal moment which changed which started moving towards in India's favor. Just a small correlation which I just saw out of the match, which I felt I would like to share with all of you guys.
Oh, absolutely. KL mentioned after the game that if you go after one of us, 11 of us will come at you.
I think we should just not read into these comments, because I think the game and the day was much better than.
Oh, absolutely. No, what I meant was if, I so don't want to use that filmy line. ये नया इंडिया है, ये घर में घुस के मारता है. No.
Let's revel on what happened, and I think let's watch. I'm definitely watching the highlights again of day 5.
Yep. Just right after this podcast I uploaded, I'm going to watch that again. And on that note, thank you again, Narayanan. Okay, just one thing before we go. Sorry, I almost forgot. We have the next session that we have over the weekend. We'll have one special guest with us, my friend, who has just come up with a brand new cricket app. It's called Paper Cricket Manager. I'm sharing the link for you to download the app. Have a look at it. Download the app. It's a fun game. You'll love it. We have it on our system, and we're going to try it in this week, and we'll let you know. We'll give you feedback about the game, and we'll have the developer, the brain behind this app in our next session, my friend Durvesh. So please, ladies and gentlemen, download the app and show your love to my friend Durvesh. On that note, see ya. It was an absolute pleasure for us to bring this session about such a wonderful match that happened yesterday. Good night.
Yeah, lovely pleasure.